Think Thailand's always been the king of Southeast Asian tourism? Think again. In 2025, the Land of Smiles is facing a game-changing crisis, and the numbers are staggering. But what exactly is fueling this sudden nosedive, and what could the future hold for one of the world's most iconic destinations? Stick with us until the end, because we're breaking down the real story, and trust me, you won't want to miss the eye-popping details. Welcome back to Bangkok Buzz, the place where you get the lowdown on everything sizzling in Thailand's beating heart. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button, hit like, and light up the comments with your thoughts. Let's jump into the action. Let's set the scene. The year kicked off strong. 3.71 million people touched down in the Land of Smiles in January, marking a massive 22% jump compared to last year. But the celebration was short-lived. By February, arrivals slipped to 3.12 million, a modest 7% year-over-year climb, but a sharp drop from January's surge. March saw an even grimmer picture with an 8.7% year-over-year decline, and April spiraled further, down 7.6%. That's not just a slump, that's a warning sign flashing neon across the tourism skyline. Here's where the comparison turns brutal. While Thailand's numbers dipped, global tourism arrived with a 5% year-over-year boost, and the roaring Asia-Pacific region, yes, including Thailand, soared by 13%. Let's dig into the neighbors. Vietnam's tourism arrivals skyrocketed 24% in just the first 4 months of 2025. Malaysia, up 31%. Tiny Cambodia, jumped 14%. So why is Thailand, the region's traditional tourism heavy hitter, being left in the dust? It comes down to one word: price. Thailand isn't the backpacker paradise it once was. Costs are up across the board, from hotels and restaurants to tours and attractions. That once unbeatable affordability? It's evaporating. In 2024, the average nightly hotel rate was over 4,000 baht, and during peak season, it spiked to more than 6,500 baht, a cool $200 USD per night. Luxury seekers in Phuket shelled out an average of over 10,000 baht for 5-star stays during the high season. Check this out. Hotel prices are up more than 50% over the past 5 years, and that's just the tip of the financial iceberg. Everything from street food to shopping has gotten pricier, but that's not the only squeeze. The Thai baht is historically strong, meaning visitors from all over, whether you're holding pounds, euros, dollars, or yen, now get less for their money. Meanwhile, destinations like Vietnam and Cambodia, still keeping costs low, soaking up the budget travelers who once flocked to Thailand's shores. The shift is real, and the competition is fierce. Soaring prices are just the beginning. Thailand's reputation has taken a hit, thanks to an outbreak of scams targeting tourists. It's the classic tuk-tuk trick. A friendly driver offers a cheap ride, but then whisks you on a magical mystery tour of overpriced shops, suits, gems, souvenirs, you name it. Wander the old city and you'll spot it in action, tourists caught in endless rounds of these not-so-charming cons. That tricky landscape hasn't escaped the international gaze. MasterCard named Bangkok and Phuket as 2 of the planet's scam capitals. Ouch! Sure, there's a beefed-up police presence and more inspectors keeping an eye on things. But the scams push on, relentless as ever. And while authorities scramble to keep up, those first impressions linger with travelers. You might wonder, why did the real turmoil start in February this year? Here's a bombshell. Thailand's tourism woes are tied to one key market, China. Let's rewind. In 2019, a record year, Thailand welcomed a jaw-dropping 39.9 million visitors, with over 11 million from China alone. Then the pandemic slammed the brakes. By 2024, tourists were cautiously coming back, but only 6.73 million Chinese visitors made the trip. The first 4 months of 2025, numbers nosedived another 24%. This year's projections look grim, maybe 4 million total, barely a third of 2019's record. Why are Chinese travelers suddenly staying away? In China, Thailand is being painted as unsafe, and this storyline has history. Let's go back to 2023. China had just reopened, and a blockbuster film, No More Bets, swept the nation. The plot? Chinese citizens lured abroad only to be kidnapped and forced into scam call centers in a country that's suspiciously similar to Thailand. It wasn't just make-believe. The United Nations estimates that more than 300,000 people are currently enslaved in scam operations across Southeast Asia, mainly along Myanmar's border with Thailand. Victims are tricked with bogus job offers, trafficked through Thailand, and trapped in scam compounds. Fast forward to 2025. On January 3rd, a famous Chinese actor fell victim, lured to Thailand by the promise of work, then kidnapped and trafficked into Myanmar's call center, hell. This went viral across China, sparking panic. As the news spread, 10,000 Chinese tourists canceled their trips to Thailand's upcoming New Year celebrations. That's when arrivals flatlined, and the spiral began. But wait, there's more. February and March usually mean high season and sunny skies, but in recent years, central and northern Thailand have choked under a blanket of toxic air pollution. The smog's reputation has gone global, piling on another reason to look elsewhere, especially for February and March travel. The joke's on classic travel wisdom. The so-called best time to visit is now the most polluted. And as if that wasn't enough, a late March earthquake in Myanmar rattled Bangkok's skyline and collapsed a 30-story building under construction. Images of the disaster splashed across screens worldwide, heightening already raw fears about travel safety. The result? Over half of surveyed Chinese now see Thailand as an unsafe destination. The irony is almost surreal. The call centers and trafficking rings behind so much bad press are largely run by Chinese criminal groups, and the collapsed building, built by a Chinese construction company, now under investigation for shoddy materials. Yet, the narrative sticks, feeding the perception that Thailand is just too risky. All these headline-grabbing events from February to April can be tracked directly to the downturn in tourism. But there's a wider story at play too, one about changing times and shifting dynamics in the region. For 3 decades, Thailand was the undisputed heavyweight champion of Southeast Asian tourism. Competition? Practically non-existent. That sort of dominance can make you complacent. But today, travelers are flooded with options. Japan's currency is weak, its inflation low, its air crisp, its infrastructure world-class. Meanwhile, regional rivals like Vietnam and Cambodia are courting travelers who crave an affordable adventure. In this new reality, resting on old glories won't cut it. Silver lining? You bet. There's a saying in crisis management, never waste a good crisis. This is Thailand's wake-up call, a moment to reimagine tourism, crack down on scams, fix the pollution, and lift standards across the board. The future is uncertain, but it's also wide open. What do you think is Thailand's next move? Drop your insights in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow travelers. Thanks for tuning in to Bangkok Buzz. See you in the next episode.